Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Half-Ass Garage. Today we're working on the old Jeep. We're going to try to get a little bit closer to trying to start it all up. So we're just going to pick away at it little by little, and we'll see what we have at the end of the day. So let's do it. So I'll tell you some of the stuff I got done on it so far. It's been kind of rainy out. I don't know if you can tell. I've been doing a lot of other stuff. I haven't had a chance to film most of this. This is the fuel rail that's on it right now. I'm starting to take it off because there's wasp nests in it, and I don't really want to monkey with that. So I'm pulling the other one off of this engine right now. I got O-rings for the injectors today. I picked those up. This fuel rail looks pretty good. No wasp nests in it. There's a vacuum line that goes from the back of this over to this. I swapped this from the other engine because this one was good, but this one that's on here right now is from the old engine. It was bent up and busted. This is the old alternator from the truck. It was seized, but I managed to put it on the bench, clamp this in a vise, and then spin this with a drill, and it freed up. But I just noticed that it's broke. So I don't know what the heck happened with that. I've never really seen an alternator housing crack. Luckily, when I was at the pull apart, I found this. So basically a brand new unit by the looks of things. By DriveWorks. I think from just looking online that this is an advanced auto alternator, so I mean, good enough for me. Looks brand new. And I got this. Sorry about the wind noise. I don't know why I kept calling this a transmission cooler. This is a AC condenser. So if you remember, my other one was really caved in and destroyed. So I got this one. Just have to get these connectors off without breaking. That's the hardest part. So I'll film that whenever I get to it, and we're going to try to get this out without twisting. This is all aluminum, and this is brass. I believe it's brass, and then this is steel. So got a lot of different materials here that like to seize up on each other. So mixed metals, always kind of a nightmare to deal with, but we'll get it off because these are expensive. Next, I got a new radiator. Well, new used radiator. It's a little bit different than the one that came out of the truck. These caps are plastic, where the other one was all metal. So I guess they still use brass, but it looks way better than the other one. So got that, and I'll show you. This is the original radiator. You can see the looks like the fan hit it at one point. You can check out the other video. Well, I'll just take you over and show you. This was the AC condenser that came out of the truck. So as you can see, it's seen better days. This is what happens when these mixed metals like bind up. It basically just, when I tried to unbolt that one end, like the other end, it just was basically welded right on essentially, and it just ripped it off. So I ended up freeing up the connectors for that, so those are good to go. I think the other one should go right in. As long as I can get it apart, it'll go right on in. So that's pretty good. And then it's just a matter of kind of picking away at it, and little bits here and there. I got some new battery terminals today. I got to figure out where everything goes. This thing is probably smoked, if I had to take a guess. There was no refrigerant in it anyway. Okay everybody, I cleaned up a little bit to make room for the Jeep. So weather says that it's supposed to start raining here later on, and it's going to rain for several days. So in order to keep working on the Jeep, we've got to get it inside. So I made a little bit of room. can't remember the last video that I shot working on the Jeep, what we were doing. But man, it's been a whirlwind. We got quite a bit done. So a lot of this was finding broken things, like cleaning the threads and finding the different bolts that work for it, and a lot of this was broken. Just bunches of stuff. So a lot of these connectors were broke. Got a new end on the negative. I don't even know where some of it goes. Like this was shredded. Just, you know, like this connector was broke. I still have a bad O2. I think that's what that is somewhere. This boot that was original to the truck was torn, if you remember that. I found a new one in the truck. I had to go to the pull apart and get a different radiator, but as you can see, this radiator just, I mean, barely fits. It doesn't really fit, but the air box is able to go on the way that it is. But you can see there's nothing really, no more room. So the other one didn't have this, I don't know what that is, the plug on the end of it, drain, maybe it goes to something else, I'm not sure. I did get the new AC condenser in, again the new radiator, all of that fit okay. What else? I mean, looks like the wiring was different, so whoever put the wires on the other engine had them wired wrong, so I rewired that. Let me see, what else? All kinds of stuff. I did find out that the floor pan is shot on here, on this side, the passenger side. It's hard to see in here, but there is that rust. But this I didn't realize was rotten too. So anyway, it needs floor pans on the right side. No big deal. Right now I'm getting the gas tank out, so that's what I'm working on right now. Trans is on. The shift linkage over there needs to be connected. All of these, all the condenser lines are put on. All of the trans cooler lines are put on. This was broken, or it was bent over, so I heated it all up, reformed that the best that I could. I don't want to buy anything new until I know that this is going to work. This needs to be changed, needs to go underneath here, so that needs to be fixed. I don't have a PCV hose to go over there yet. Got a new air filter in here, got a new oil filter waiting for it, oil change, which I'm going to wait on. Got all these vacuum ports that need to be connected up. Got the drive shaft off of the other transmission. These bolts, I'll have to order new ones because they're not bad, but they're not great either. Apparently there's 3 different sizes for this U-joint, so I have to go up and figure out, or this one, both of them, which one it is. So that is the front drive shaft. I've got 2 rear drive shafts of different quality, so I'll probably just polish this up with some steel wool and use one of these for now, and then figure out if the yoke's gonna leak. This is the original shaft. Yeah, I mean, just some odds and ends. The fuel tank I'm taking out right now. You can see it hanging there. It's you can see also how creepy it is to be under here. So all the fuel system and stuff. The fuel system, I have to figure all that out and take that down. There's still some gas in that tank, but it's super gross. And everything else under here looks okay. I've got another fuel tank for it. So this is another gas tank that I have for the truck. It's empty, obviously, so that makes it better than the one that's in there, because I don't know the condition of that. They're steel tanks. So this one looks to be pretty decent. The other one, who knows? I don't really want to risk it if I've got one already for it, that I can just kind of fill it up and try it. So hopefully that fuel pump works. Yeah, just got the skid plate, a couple other little odds and ends to get off of it, and keep going through this mess of stuff. I don't know what half of it is. Then we can try to start it. I'm hoping that that's about it. So, right, here's a fuel tank. Here is my auxiliary fuel pump that will draw fuel from the tank, put in whatever you got. So just electric fuel pump. So that's that. That is the old fuel tank. Sorry, I don't know what I said. Maybe I made some mistakes. Hear how full it is? I could not pull fuel through this line. So this is the fuel line. I believe this is probably return breathers, because this one went to the fuel filter. So I couldn't pull fuel from this tank, which is a quarter full easy, up. So something's wrong with that sending unit. Oh, it's probably a little sock on it's all rusty. Maybe we'll look. Okay, the first issue that we see from this install is this radiator is apparently bad. I can't tell where the leak is exactly. I'm sure the light's blowing you out, but it looks like it's way up in there. So yeah, it's somewhere on the top. So that sucks. So a little bit of a bummer. I'll have to get a different radiator or whatever. But that blows. So anyway, that's that. The transmission fluid was totally empty. I filled that up the best I could. Power steering fluid, all of that. Last night rather, I got the new fuel tank in. So new fuel tank is all plumbed up. All new clamps. Got the drive shaft on. New seal. Got it lubed up pretty good. So, got the linkage on it. You can't see it from here. So the linkage is connected. There it is, right there. That linkage. As far as this drive shaft here, I have to pull that U-joint out. And apparently there are 3 different sizes of U-joint, so they need it at the parts store. They want to match it up. So that side is missing a cap, so I can't do anything with that right now. But there's the old fuel tank. It was kind of a nightmare to do by yourself, but it's done. Anyway, got enough power steering fluid. There is no fuel in the tank right now. I got to check the engine oil, trans fluid. We're just gonna have to wait for it to warm up, and I'll have to add some to it. It sucks because it goes through this radiator, so I don't want to I don't want to spend too much fluid on it just to pull this radiator excuse me, and have it all just leak out anyway. So new air filter, everything should be good. I think I have all the connections except for that one hooked up. So we're going to just do the last couple little things, cap off that vac line here and here, because I don't really know what goes to them right now. I've got the coil wire pulled, so I'm gonna hit it with some juice once I can get this thing to actually tighten down on these little terminals. So I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of power and see if anything starts smoking, or if I can hear the fuel pump in the back kick on. We're just gonna have to see. So as far as the interior goes, I don't know what the heck is going on with most of this, but somebody did take the liberty of busting the key out of it for me, so that's good. So now it'll turn over without that. I don't know what any switches do. Anyway, we're gonna hope that nothing catches on fire. So I might go ahead and pull some of the fuses out of here right now, just to isolate some different areas, because there's certain things that we don't need, like for instance the hazard lamps. Don't need that. What else? Heated rear window, we don't need that. If there's any type of short in the wiring to any of those systems, it could potentially make it catch on fire or whatever, so we don't want anything plugged in right now that doesn't need to be plugged in. Okay, so that's the plan on that. So let some water leak out of this thing a little bit more and check the oil, fix the battery cable, and we're gonna see what happens. So I got the negative terminal down and guess we'll just take the power here and touch it and see what we can hear. Let's hope. Oh, I need to get a fire extinguisher just in case. All right. So, oh, the pin came out of it. Charged, so it should be good. Let's see what happens. Well, the wipers are on. So, where do we turn the wipers off at? I don't know. Okay, so they shouldn't be on, but they're on. So I don't know what that means. Let's see if you can get a better view. Yeah, so wipers are going. Door chime is on. I don't know what that is. Low washer. Any smoke? Any smoke that you see? I see nothing. Nothing is good. Nothing is really good. Okay, we're going to try something. Uh-oh, gotta check engine light. Good. Lights in here work. No ignition though. So, no ignition. It won't turn over. No smoke. I don't smell anything. So far we're doing okay. Let me check through some stuff and we'll see. So we'll see what's up. So I don't know why it won't turn over. It could be due to this. Could be any number of things. All right, well, I guess we're going to find out if this thing starts. So hopefully it does. We have to purge the fuel rail. I don't know how long that fuel pump is supposed to run. So there's just a Schrader valve in here like a bicycle pump. There we go. Should be good. I think we're ready to try to start it. I don't know. There's going to probably be some other issues. Who knows? But if all goes well, it should just fire up after a minute. And I don't know how well it's going to run with no O2 sensor, and who knows what else is wrong with it. But if it fires up and it's not clanking all over, remember, this engine is an unknown. We have no idea if it's good. Could have a blown head gasket. We know nothing about it. So we're just going to give it a shot and see. I'm going to let this thing charge up for a little bit. Wearing a new shirt today. Mad Scientist Garage, shout out to him. So check him out on YouTube. I should have listened to my gut and not used this fuel tank. So, she's leaking, which is a bummer. This was supposed to be the good tank, but apparently not. So, thankfully, this tank doesn't leak because it's half full of fuel. So I guess once I can guarantee that the engine starts up and it's worth all the time and effort, I will take this tank out, transfer the fuel from that wherever, and then swap tanks. So man, that was a waste of time, but at least now I know. And this has an open header on it, so I don't think that we're gonna get any fireballs necessarily that are gonna do anything bad, but I've got a fire extinguisher handy, so we should be good. This is the jump for the starter relay because I have a bad starter relay, so that should allow us to start it up. Anywho, let's give it a shot. Fire extinguisher handy. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything crossed. If it starts, I'm not going to let it run for very long. But if it makes a bunch of noise and is rattling all over them, we know that, you know, it's got a rod knock or whatever. So we'll call it at that point. Pretty good. It's charging. Look at how bright that bulb is. All right, she runs. Let's disconnect everything. Whoops. Let's shut this off first. A little bit excited. Too excited, too quick. Okay. Welp. Here we go. All right. The Jeep works. It runs. Happy. Are you happy? I'm happy. That was a lot of work. Jeep runs. Fuel tank sucks. Leaking fuel. Radiator's junk. So the radiator has to be replaced. Gas tank needs to be replaced. Fuel pump. Awesome. $20 Amazon job. That's good news. A little bit of rust here. Rust on the floorboards on the passenger side. This nightmare here. Oh, you know what? I should see if the tires will work. Let's see if the transmission works on this thing. Let's get this nightmare out of the way. And yeah, all right, so let's try it again. Now that it's fired up, let's see if she'll do it again on her own without without cranking so long. Fingers crossed. There we go. Nothing. Oops. Well, I don't know what that means. Ugh, it stinks. Something smells horrible. The tires didn't turn, and that might be because I could have the transfer case could be in neutral. That might be it. Okay, so that should be in some gear. What gear, I don't know. So I think the transfer case should be engaged. Let's see. Yeah. Definitely engaged better than it was before. Power brakes, rather. Hey, 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 check it out. Brakes don't work. Yeah, brakes don't work. So, there we go. So the brakes are shot. So I guess that was an indicator for why. Anyway, works, right? Success. Exciting. Super exciting. Sorry about the shaky cam, fellas. I just got it on my little tripod rig right now. All right. XJ lives again. Huh. Welp. I guess. What do you guys think on this thing? Before you say, like, you know, super huge lift, massive tires, I don't know if it's worth all, you know, putting all that money into right now. Maybe down the road, we'll just have to see how it holds up. I don't know if that transmission is really any good. I think you guys might have saw the fluid in it. It's pretty gross. But have to definitely get a new radiator for it. What was it? Oh, U-joints for the front drive shaft. So I can put that in. Make the interior work. I think I showed you once before that this has power seats, the power seat frame or control unit, whatever, in it, and then this doesn't, so there would be a rib that would go here on the floor across there, so I'll have to make that. Clean up this dash, figure out what a lot of this stuff is. Headliner, it's perfect. Perfect. Don't need to do anything with the headliner. I don't guess that's the ambient light sensor. I don't know. Gross. Anyway, brakes. So I guess it's going to need brakes too. What else? I don't know. It's been a long road with this thing, but it's come along a long way. Anyhow, I'm not sure how the video's kind of going along, but anyway, thanks for hanging out in the half-assed garage. Got the Jeep working. So the next time, I don't know what we'll be doing next. I gotta clean this place up. So at least I can move the Jeep now, which is the biggest thing that I needed to do. I needed to get it to a point there where I could pull it out and move it on its own. So I've got it to that point. We're good to go. And that's it. So thanks a lot. Like and subscribe if you think it's cool, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.